Warhol said you get 15 minutes in the sun, and I got 15 years, in my opinion.
Mark Young has been creating art as far back as he can remember.
Art, without me knowing it, attracted me because I could do something. And it wasn't anything in some ways that you had to compare with what other people were doing.
And now some of his works, many of them previously unseen, are being exhibited at the Bridgewater Public Library.
And I've been blessed my whole life. This is all I ever did.
The exhibit, called Past, Present, and Future, showcases geometric shapes, sculptures, and watercolors.
I spent a lot of time in the park, in the woods when I was younger. And I think that's where a lot of these images come from.
Over the years, Mark's work has gained the attention of a national audience. His varied past also includes furniture and an invention you have definitely seen, if not used.
Everything I did, all the lucite items, the bagel slicer and the planter and furniture I made, I had a complete furniture showroom for 10 years, was all handmade. I could have gotten molds for some of the stuff and had somebody just make it, you know. But to me, it made a difference.
And behind every piece is a story.
Yeah, this is in the beginning of when a lot of the political things were going on in '63, Kennedy, Medgar Evers, all the stuff that was going on. And it just seemed to me that man was killing man. It had nothing to do with anything else. It just does something. There's something's happening there. It's the different colors, the shades, and then the negative space is what makes my eye go in and out.
Mark's love of the arts began at a young age. Diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, he channeled his energy into metal sculptures.
I always had to have something to do or something to make, and that's really where it started.
When he graduated from school, Mark opened a gallery of his work and later installed one of his biggest sculptures at the National Institutes of Health.
I was so cold, it was a day like today, and I was so afraid it was going to blow over.
But all of this success didn't come without its share of struggles.
I was having a difficult time selling enough to make a living. I was making 12-foot tall sculptures that nobody knew what they were, and even worse, they didn't want to buy.
Mark began working for a small furniture company, making lucite tables and displays.
They had a ton of materials around the shop, and they just let me do whatever I want. So within a month or two, I had products. I took them out to stores. I got orders. They weren't interested in being in that business. So I went on my own, and from there, it just went crazy.
It was during that time he invented the lucite bagel slicer.
And every once in a while, you just hit a home run, and it just takes off on its own. It's got a life of its own. And I was very fortunate in that sense that people liked what I made.
Soon after, Mark began doing design work for Kraft cheese.
I always thought of it like the rings of Saturn, where there's all this matter floating around this planet. And it comes very slowly, and if you don't take it and do something with that energy, then it goes right around and it goes past you and someone else picks it up.
Then it was time for a change, or as Mark calls it, a reconnection with his past.
So I thought it would be really important to reconnect with a part of me that I left behind. And everybody that knew me said, "You're going backwards, you can't do that." And I was going backwards. So I went back to my metal sculpture.
That summer, Mark opened a gallery in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. By July, he sold every single piece of art, 230 pieces in all.
I couldn't believe it, I couldn't keep up with it, I couldn't make any more fast enough. But it was a good experience, it wasn't bad at all. And it showed me that people are still interested in handmade items. When I came here, I set up a new studio, and I thought, yeah, I'll do metal work, and then all of a sudden I started painting. And over the 10-year period, I painted close to 300 and some paintings. When I paint, I just start. And as long as I can sit there and do it, if it's a good day and things work well, then I do a series of paintings or a certain a look, but I never plan it.
With over half a century of work behind him, Mark has covered just about everything. Yet he is now looking towards a new goal, a nonprofit art school.
As you come closer to the end of your career and what you're doing, you have to decide whether you want to put something back. And for a long time, that's been my motive, to help other people make art, learn how to make it. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be, compared to anybody's, but you should enjoy it.
You can visit with Mark at the Flora T. Little Gallery on Saturday, February 7th from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. or stop by and see his work during regular library hours.
There's a human element in us all that says, I'm here. I must be here for a reason, and I must record that I'm here.
For Bridgewater This Week, I'm Alicia Fortin.